Welcome to another edition of the Poems I Love. My name is Sodiq Alabi. I'm the author of The Texture of Air, and my second collection is called Deaf Birds and Frozen Frames. Today, I have two poems I want to share with you. The first one is Window by Saddiq Dzukogi, and the poem is featured in his book, Your Crib, My Qibla. And the poem really it touches me every time I read it. It's the book. If you've read Your Crib, My Qibla, is about Saddiq's loss, tremendous loss. Saddiq and his wife, they lost their daughter, and this poem is his way of dealing with the pain and memorializing his daughter. And I really identify this poem, particular one, speaks to me. Many other poems in the book also speak to me, but this one in particular, I really enjoy the way. It's a short poem, but the imagery, the way I'm taken into the scene with Saddiq is a very powerful poem that I would love everybody to read. So it goes like this: Window. Today, Baha is not dead. She's listening to the flame in the stove as it cooks a favorite meal. The food teetering inside the pot. She can do this language of understanding when it is cooked by chewing the rice to feel if it's gone soft. She leans back against the wall in the silence that washes the kitchen after a cell phone rang and she drops the mackerel in the simmering oil. Her mother's voice rings, a presence that touches their ears, and they listen. End of poem. The second poem I want to read on this episode of The Poems I Love is From the Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. This is a very old poem, I think more than 100 years old now. And the excerpt that I want to read is from the end of chapter 1 and the beginning of chapter 2. And I really love the entire poem, the Wasteland poem. It's a book-length poem and one of the greatest poems of the last century. And you will see why. The way Eliot paints pictures, imageries, and just takes you to where he is in time and in the past. This is just a beautiful, engrossing piece of work. Unreal city, under the brown fog of a winter dawn, a crowd flowed over London Bridge. So many. I had not thought death had undone so many. Sighs, short and infrequent, were exhaled, and each man fixed his eyes before his feet, flowed up the hill and down King William Street to where St. Mary Woodnorth kept the house with a dead sand on the final stroke of 9. There I saw one I knew and stopped him, crying, "Stetson, you who were with me in the ships at Miley, that copse you planted last year in your garden, has it begun to sprout? Will it bloom this year? Or has the sudden frost disturbed its bed? Oh, keep the dog far hence, that's friend to men, or with his nails it will dig it up again. You hypocrite lector, mon semblable, mon frère." 2. A game of chess. The chair she sat in, like a burnished throne, glowed on the marble where the glass held up by standard wrought with fruited vines, from which a golden cupidon peeped out. Another hid his eyes behind his wing. Double the flames of 7-branched candelabra, reflecting light upon the table as the glitter of her jaws rose to meet it. From satin cases poured in rich profusion, in vase of ivory and colored glass, unstoppered, locked as strange synthetic perfumes, unguent, powdered or liquid, troubled, confused, and drowned the sense in odors stirred by the air that freshened from the window. These ascended in fattening the prolonged candle flames, flung their smoke into the laquaria, stirring the pattern on the cover ceiling. Huge seawood fed with copper, burned green and orange, framed by the colored stone, in which sad light a carved dolphin swam. Above, the antique mantle was displayed as though a window gave upon the silver scene, the change of Philomen by the barbarous king, so rudely forced. Yet there the nightingale filled all the desert with inviolable voice, and still she cried, and still the word pursues, jog, jog, to dirty ears. And other withered stump of time were told upon the walls, staring forms, leaned out linen, hushing the room enclosed. Footsteps shuffled on the stair, under the firelight, under the brush, her hair spread out in fiery points, glowed into words. Then will be savagely still. My nerves are bad tonight. Yes, bad. Stay with me. Speak to me. Why do you never speak? Speak. What are you thinking of? What thinking? What? I never know what you are thinking. Think. I think we are in Rot Alley, where the dead men lost their bones. What is that noise? The wind under the door. What is that noise now? What is the wind doing? Nothing. Again, nothing. Do you know nothing? Do you say nothing? Do you remember nothing? I remember those were paws that were his eyes. Are you alive or not? Is there nothing in your head but, oh, that Shakespearean rag is so elegant, so intelligent. What shall I do now? What shall I do? I shall rush out as I am and walk the streets with my head down so. What shall we do tomorrow? What shall we ever do? The hot water at 10, and if it rains, a closed car at 4, and we shall play game of chess, pressing lidless eyes and waiting for a knock upon the door. Thank you for joining us today.